Well, hi there everyone. Just a very interesting phenomena which I've observed only a few times, and I would like to tell you about it. These are true tales of my African adventures. May this inspire you, deter you, caution you, and above all, entertain you. And this is about snakes that actually cozy up to their prey. It's a very strange phenomenon. I'm sure others have experienced it as well. Now, the problem with snakes and other reptiles is that they don't have reason. Anyone can argue with me, they can argue with me till they're blue in the face. I know what reason is, and I know what reason is not. Now, if you walk past your friend a little quickly, he wouldn't get a fright and get up and attack you and try to kill you or punch you in the face. But if you go a bit too quickly past a snake that you've had for 10 years, he might bite you. If you have moved past him too quickly, he might feel unstable, have a fright, get a fright, and then bite you. You won't expect that from your wife. I don't know, maybe you would. But you know what I'm saying. So without reason, when circumstances change, a non-reasonable being can change its behavior very quickly and go from benign to deadly. So I tried to tame snakes, and I fondly believed in my younger days that you could do such a thing. And I had them coming over to me to fetch food from my hand, that sort of thing. Very dangerous snakes doing that, coming and fetching food from my hand, and so on. But always, when the chips were down, the snake would have a go at you. But this phenomenon I'm going to speak about is something completely different. I had a python. It was a very, very big python. It was around 16 feet long, which is big. It's a big, bulky snake. And when it's well fed and has good muscle on it, it's like that, and dangerous to humans. You might recall in one of my earlier videos, I came within an inch of my life at the hands of a large python, if you know what I mean. This big python used to eat, well, what I would do is I'd put out the word into the district if any calves were born dead or died soon after birth, I would collect them for this python, because he was very happy to eat dead calves. And even big calves that were 1 month old or a bit older than that, he could cope with, swallow them whole. But sometimes when we didn't have dead food, we would have to introduce live food. And what happened with this python one day is I put in a large old rabbit. It was on its last legs and it was diseased, and I felt I could offer this to him. And I know people like rabbits very much, but towards the end of their life, when they come to the end, a person like myself who has to feed carnivorous animals will use an old rabbit like that. So I did. And my apologies to those who feel offended by that type of behavior. I put the rabbit in and it didn't get eaten. So I thought, well, he'll probably just eat it the next day. And where was the rabbit going each time it went to the snake's sleeping box? I thought there was a tunnel. Was he sitting in the tunnel or was he going into the snake's sleeping quarters? I didn't check on the first day. Second day, third day, it wasn't eaten. Fourth day, it wasn't eaten. I opened up everything and I checked, and he was sitting with the python. In fact, the python was in a curled up position. The rabbit was right in the middle of his coils. Right in the middle of his coils. Fifth day, sixth day, this carried on for a while. The rabbit was actually having a whale of a time and actually became healthier than it was, living in this large enclosure and eating all the grass and some of the water plants too, which I didn't mind. It was fine. And this behavior carried on, and the python was clearly hungry, because I would see him coming to his position where he knew he would get food, but he wasn't eating the rabbit. So I introduced a new food for him, which he ate, and was a big meal. He went back and coiled up, and the rabbit got into his coils again and sat there. And I fed him again, and he ate, and he went back into his sleeping quarters, and the rabbit stayed inside his coils. That python would never eat that rabbit. It is as if they become friends. And it was quite a remarkable sight, quite a phenomenon. In fact, you know, had I had a camera worthwhile in those days, and had I had the intelligence at the time to start filming these things, which I just simply never did, and I don't know why, I would have had a priceless piece of film. And eventually I took the rabbit out and put him to pasture, and he died naturally. But the next thing that I saw was really remarkable. We had quite a large enclosure for rabbits, and I had made them a large drum. It was a very big drum with a big cutout in the drum filled up with straw, so they would go into the drum, which would protect them from the rain. It was under a tree, so the sun wouldn't penetrate and overheat the drum. And there they would breed. And they have a lot of babies. So one day I received a phone call. I was in Johannesburg, and the call was a mamba, a black mamba, has gotten into the one rabbit enclosure, gone into the drum and eaten 6 or 8 or 10 baby rabbits. I can't remember how many. I said to them, so, well, what did you do? They said, well, nothing. I said, why? They said, because the mamba is still there. You can't get in a drum to catch a big black mamba. And I said, so where are the adult rabbits? He said, they're there too. Where? I said, in the drum. I said, so where's the mamba? They said, I just told you, the mamba's in the drum. I said, you mean the mamba's in the drum and the rabbits are in the drum, the parents? Yes. Unbelievable, I thought. So I said, okay, I understand you can't catch them, the snake that is, under these circumstances. Of course, it'll be a mess. They try and get the mamba out, and the rabbits would react, and the mamba would panic and fly out the drum, and someone's going to get injured or killed. So I happened to be going up the next day. So I went up there, and I said, so what happened with the mamba rabbit story? They said, well, the mamba's still there and the rabbits are still there. They come out and eat, they go back in. And they're all living happily together in the drum. I said, unbelievable. So I went over to look, and I shone a powerful torch in there because it was daylight. You needed a very powerful torch to see anything. And there were the 2 rabbits lying around, as rabbits do on their off time. And the mamba was curled up with them, just looking at me. Couldn't believe it. And I said, well, okay, so let's leave this till tomorrow. I want to see how long this kind of friendship lasts. The following day, the mamba was still there. You know, it was snug there. The rabbits were warm and furry like a living blanket. The mamba was nice and warm. He was digesting his meal, which consisted of their entire family. Of course, they didn't seem to mind that bit. And there he was in the drum with the rabbits, living a happy life. I have never seen such a thing before.